Howard Cosell, America's most famous sports broadcaster, spent 3 decades telling one version of his relationship with Muhammad Ali. He told talk shows, wrote in his autobiography, repeated in interviews, the same story over and over. Then Ali died in 2016, and Cosell's daughter found letters in her father's desk that told a completely different story. What the world thought it knew about Ali and Cosell was a lie, and the truth was more beautiful than anyone imagined. For 30 years, Howard Cosell told everyone the same story about Muhammad Ali. I made him famous. I gave him a platform. Without me, there's no Muhammad Ali. He said it on television, he wrote it in his books, he repeated it until it became accepted fact. Cosell discovered Ali, promoted Ali, created the Ali mystique through his commentary. It was a good story. Cosell was a giant in broadcasting, and Ali was the greatest boxer who ever lived. Of course, Cosell had helped make Ali famous. It made sense. Everyone believed it. There was just one problem. It wasn't true. The real story, the one Cosell never told publicly, the one he kept hidden in letters locked in his desk drawer, was the opposite of everything he'd claimed. And when those letters were discovered after Ali's death in 2016, they revealed a truth so profound that it changed how we understand both men. Let's start with the lie that everyone believed. Howard Cosell became famous in the 1960s as ABC's boxing commentator. He had a distinctive voice, verbose vocabulary, and confrontational style that made him unlike any sportscaster America had seen before. People either loved him or hated him, but everyone watched him. In 1964, when Cassius Clay beat Sonny Liston to become heavyweight champion, most sports journalists refused to call him by his new name, Muhammad Ali. They saw his conversion to Islam and name change as a publicity stunt, something to mock or ignore. But Howard Cosell, a Jewish broadcaster from Brooklyn, called him Muhammad Ali from day one. On national television, when other commentators were saying Cassius Clay, Cosell said Muhammad Ali with respect and conviction. This act of recognition, calling Ali by his chosen name, became legendary. And from that moment forward, Cosell told the world, I made Ali relevant. I gave him legitimacy. I stood up for him when no one else would. For 30 years, Cosell repeated this narrative. In his 1985 autobiography, I Never Played the Game, Cosell wrote, I was the one who gave Muhammad Ali his voice. Without my platform, he'd have just been another boxer. In interviews throughout the 1980s and 1990s, Cosell consistently positioned himself as Ali's champion, his defender, the broadcaster who'd made Ali's career possible through sheer force of will and professional courage. Ali never contradicted him publicly. They appeared together on television, joked around, had what looked like genuine friendship. Ali would say, Howard Cosell is my man, and Cosell would beam with satisfaction. The sports world accepted this as truth. Cosell had elevated Ali, and Ali was grateful. It was a nice story about an unlikely friendship, a Jewish broadcaster and a black Muslim boxer united by mutual respect and shared fame. It was also completely backward. When Howard Cosell died in 1995, his family discovered boxes of personal papers in his home office. Among them were dozens of letters, some from Ali, some to Ali, some to Cosell's wife and children, that told a radically different story. These letters stayed private for 20 years. The Cosell family wasn't sure what to do with them. They revealed something Howard had hidden his entire career, something that contradicted his public persona so completely that releasing them seemed almost cruel to his memory. Then Muhammad Ali died in June 2016. The world mourned. Tributes poured in from presidents, celebrities, athletes, everyone who'd been touched by Ali's life. And in the midst of this global mourning, Cosell's daughter Jill made a decision. It was time to tell the truth.
In December 2016, Jill Cosell published excerpts from her father's letters in a Sports Illustrated article titled "The Lie My Father Told." The response was immediate and stunning. Everything the sports world thought it knew about Cosell and Ali was wrong. The first letter was dated March 1964, right after Ali had beaten Liston and changed his name. It was from Cosell to his wife, Emmy. "I called him Muhammad Ali on the air today. The network executives are furious. They say I'm promoting a radical, that I'm giving legitimacy to the Nation of Islam, that I'm going to lose my job. I told them I don't care. A man has the right to be called by the name he chooses. But Emmy, I need to tell you the truth. This wasn't my idea. It was his." Cosell went on to describe a conversation he'd had with Ali the day before the broadcast. Muhammad, came to me and said, "Howard, I know you're Jewish. I know your people changed their names when they came to America. You weren't always Cosell, were you?" I admitted my family name was Cohen before my grandfather changed it. He said, "So you understand. Your grandfather wanted dignity, wanted to be seen as American. I want dignity too. I want to be seen as who I really am. Will you help me?" What could I say, Emmy? Here was this young man, barely 22 years old, asking me to do something my own grandfather had done, assert his right to define himself. I didn't give him anything. He gave me the opportunity to do the right thing. And then, brilliantly, he let me take credit for it.
The second letter, dated 1967, was even more revealing. This was written after Ali had been stripped of his title for refusing to go to Vietnam. "My career is in jeopardy. ABC wants me to stop defending Ali on air. They say his anti-war stance is too controversial, that I'm alienating viewers, that I need to be more neutral. I called Ali to tell him I might have to back off, that I couldn't keep risking my job for him. Do you know what he said? 'Howard, don't worry about me. You've got a family. You've got bills. I'll be fine. You do what you need to do.' He gave me permission to abandon him, Emmy. He was willing to let me walk away to save my career. And that's when I realized he's been protecting me this whole time, not the other way around." Letter after letter revealed the same pattern. In public, Cosell claimed to be Ali's mentor and champion. In private, he acknowledged that Ali had been protecting him, guiding him, making him look courageous while taking all the real risk himself. A 1971 letter written after the first Frazier fight. "Everyone thinks I'm brave for defending Ali, but here's what they don't know. Before every controversial statement I made about him, I called him first. I'd say, 'Muhammad, I'm thinking of saying this on air. Will it cause problems for you?' And every time he'd say, 'Say whatever you need to say, Howard. Don't worry about me.' He gave me a script, Emmy. He coached me on how to be the brave broadcaster while he absorbed all the real hatred." A 1974 letter revealed even more. "Today, Ali called to thank me for my commentary during the Foreman fight. I told him I was just doing my job. He said, 'Howard, we both know that's not true. You made me sound smarter than I am. You made my boxing look like art. You gave my career poetry.' I tried to protest, but he stopped me. 'Howard,' he said, 'I'm going to tell everyone you made me famous. I'm going to give you that gift. You deserve it.' I asked him why. He said, 'Because you're my friend, and because the world needs to see that a Jewish man and a Muslim man can lift each other up. That's bigger than boxing.'"
As the letters revealed, Ali and Cosell had an unspoken agreement. In public, Cosell would take credit for Ali's fame. In private, they both knew the truth was opposite. Why? Because Ali understood something profound about public relations, about American culture, and about how to change hearts and minds. A 1978 letter from Ali to Cosell, one of the few Ali wrote himself, in shaky handwriting due to early Parkinson's symptoms. Howard, people ask me why I let you say you made me famous. They think you're taking credit for my work. They don't understand. When a Jewish broadcaster stands up for a black Muslim, it shows people that different faiths can respect each other. When you defend me, it makes other white people think maybe they should listen. You're the bridge, Howard. I'm the destination. We need both. The strategy was brilliant. By allowing Cosell to be the brave white broadcaster defending the controversial black athlete, Ali made it socially acceptable for mainstream America to support him. Cosell became the permission structure. If Howard Cosell thinks Ali is worth defending, maybe Ali isn't so scary after all. And Cosell, to his credit, played the role perfectly. He defended Ali passionately, eloquently, consistently. He just let everyone think it was his idea, when in fact Ali had orchestrated the entire dynamic. The letters also revealed why Cosell never told the truth publicly. In a 1988 letter to his son, "You asked me why I don't tell people that Ali was the one who made my career possible, not the other way around. The truth is, I'm ashamed. For 30 years, I've taken credit for his brilliance. I've let people think I was the hero of our story when he was always the hero. But if I admit that now, it diminishes what we accomplished together. The lie we told, that I elevated him, helped change American culture. The truth, that he elevated me, would just be one man's confession. So I stay silent, and I hate myself a little more each year." In a heartbreaking 1992 letter, after Ali's Parkinson's had progressed significantly, "I visited Ali today. His hands shake so badly he can barely hold a pen. His voice is a whisper, but his mind is still sharp. I tried to apologize for taking credit for his success. He stopped me. 'Howard,' he said, it took him a full minute to get the words out, 'you didn't take anything. I gave it to you. That was always the plan. Don't apologize for accepting my gift.' I cried, Emmy. I sat there in front of Muhammad Ali, the greatest man I've ever known, and I cried like a child, because I realized I'd been given an incredible honor to be the vessel for his generosity, his strategy, his vision of a better America, and I'd spent 30 years thinking I was the generous one." The last letter Cosell wrote about Ali was dated April 1995, just weeks before Cosell's own death. "I'm dying, Emmy. The emphysema is winning, and my last thought keeps going back to Ali. Everything I am, everything I accomplished, I owe to him. He gave me courage by allowing me to seem courageous. He gave me relevance by making defending him seem relevant. He gave me immortality by attaching my name to his forever. I spent my whole life telling people I made Muhammad Ali. The truth is, Muhammad Ali made me, and he let me pretend otherwise because that lie served a greater purpose. That's not just friendship. That's not just strategic genius. That's love. If you're reading this after I'm gone, please tell people. Tell them I lied. Tell them why I lied. Tell them that the greatest privilege of my life was being loved by Muhammad Ali enough that he let me pretend I was the one doing the loving." Emmy Cosell never shared this letter publicly. She died in 2002. Their daughter Jill found it in 2016, after Ali's death, along with all the others. When Jill Cosell published her Sports Illustrated article in December 2016, the sports world was stunned. Social media exploded with reactions. I spent 30 years thinking Cosell was the hero of that relationship. Turns out Ali was playing 4D chess the whole time. This is the most Ali thing I've ever heard. He orchestrated his own mythology by making someone else think they were orchestrating it. Cosell lied for 30 years, but it was a beautiful lie that served a beautiful purpose. I don't know whether to be angry or amazed.
Sports historians immediately began reanalyzing every Ali-Cosell interaction through this new lens, and suddenly, everything made sense. Ali's comments about Cosell had always been generous, protective, almost parental. He'd called Cosell my man, the way you'd talk about someone you were taking care of, not someone taking care of you. Clips from old interviews took on new meaning. When Cosell would say, "I gave Ali a platform," Ali would smile and nod, not in agreement, but in acknowledgement of the role he'd asked Cosell to play. The lie had worked. For 30 years, America had believed that a Jewish broadcaster had been brave enough to champion a controversial black Muslim athlete, and that belief had helped normalize Ali, had made him acceptable to mainstream America, had paved the way for his eventual beloved status. Ali had sacrificed credit for the sake of strategy, and Cosell had accepted that sacrifice, knowing it was a lie, hating himself for it, but understanding that the lie served something bigger than truth. The revelation of Cosell's letters doesn't diminish either man. If anything, it makes both of them more impressive. Cosell was brave. He did defend Ali when it was professionally dangerous. But he did it with Ali's permission, Ali's coaching, Ali's protection. That doesn't make Cosell less courageous. It makes him smart enough to accept help when it was offered. And Ali, this shows a level of strategic thinking that goes beyond anything we give him credit for. He didn't just win in the ring. He won the culture war by making his allies look like heroes, by orchestrating public narratives that served larger purposes, by sacrificing personal credit for collective advancement. Jill Cosell ended her Sports Illustrated article with this: "My father spent 30 years lying about Muhammad Ali, but it was the kind of lie that tells a deeper truth, that great friendships aren't about who helps whom, but about creating something together that's bigger than either person alone. Dad and Muhammad created a story that changed America. Does it matter who was the author? I don't think so. What matters is what they built together." She was right. The Cosell-Ali partnership changed sports broadcasting, changed how America talked about athletes who took political stances, changed the possibility of cross-cultural friendship during one of America's most divided eras.
And they did it through a lie that served a greater truth. When we remember Muhammad Ali and Howard Cosell now, we should remember both stories, the one they told publicly and the one they lived privately, because both were true in their own way. The public story was strategically true. The private story was emotionally true. And the fact that Ali was brilliant enough to construct the public story while living the private one, that's just more proof of what we already knew. Muhammad Ali was the greatest, not just at boxing, but at being human. If this story moves you, remember, sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is let someone else be the hero of your story. Not because you're weak, but because you're strategic. Not because you don't deserve credit, but because the cause deserves success more than you deserve recognition. Muhammad Ali spent 30 years letting Howard Cosell take credit for making him famous. He did it intentionally. He did it lovingly. He did it because he understood that sometimes the best way to win is to let someone else think they're winning for you. That's not just boxing. That's not just friendship. That's genius.